afford to wait for Arundel. Not in his condition. The Deadwalkers will be scouring the city to find out who killed their Lich. We gotta get back to the camp, fast.
Dost thou feel the power of the World Heart flowing through us since thou didst absorb the Lich?
I feel a little stronger, but it isn't enough.
It is far from over. This power comes straight from the necromancers, who sucked it from the World Heart. We must starve them.
So, did you find a book on what we found?
Here's a book that should have information on your sphere.
Excellent. Let me have a look at it. Oh, what a gem! A real mine of knowledge! This tier of the World Heart is actually a kind of container. Inside it, there's raw power that makes whoever is connected to the World Heart more powerful. I believe I should give it to you, so you can make use of it.
They attacked the wrong person. How dare they condemn our king to such a macabre fate? My father. It's time for us to repay the Deadwalkers in kind. I want to see them destroyed, so not a single one of those dead ever dare set foot in our streets again. We're going to launch a massive assault to take back our city. It is time to turn the tide of this war. Vulcan, we will need you and your extraordinary abilities. We have to send a small group to open the city gates. I'm counting on you. I know that you can be stealthy and incredibly effective. A few soldiers will be going with you. This is our best chance. Black Frost doesn't seem to be here anymore, and most of his forces went with him.
This prince is a stupid dreamer, but a useful one. If he attacks, he will draw the necromancer's eye, clearing the way for us.
All right. Count me in on this mission, but nothing more. I don't intend to take part in the fighting to retake the city, but your last stand coincides with my objectives. Black Frost should find your army fascinating. He'll send a large part of his troops against you, and he might even show up in person. And as it appears that his realm is one of the paths to the World Heart, that'll clear the way for me.
I would have preferred more assistance, but that'll have to do. This will be a magnificent battle.
If you say so.
Thou knowest that Black Frost's palace will take us to the World Heart, yet still thou doth waste thy time in vain battles. Thy stupidity knows no bounds.
The knight would like to talk to his friend about an ancient ritual. For it is said that wisdom and strength often reveal themselves through the mists of time.
A ritual? Considering what happened to me the last time I was at one of those, I probably should listen to you. So, what's it about?
Where the knight comes from, the bravest warriors are permitted to take part in a dangerous but powerful rite. They must search for special ingredients to make a potion for themselves that they then drink. Only the very strong survive. But if they live, they gain the experience and skills of many warriors long dead, and thus each of their blows becomes more deadly.
And you did this? This potion?
Yes, the knight accomplished this ritual many years ago, and he carries within him the wisdom of all the great warriors of Algander. It made him much stronger, and he is sure that if an exceptional warrior was to go through this same ritual, the effects would be many times more powerful.
Uh-huh. So, it looks like I'm going off looking for outlandish ingredients again. But hey, if it's for a good cause.
The knight has prepared a list. His friend must now search for all the ingredients written on it.
I'm on it. Sybil, can I talk to you?
Yes?
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
What do you want to know?
I've been thinking about the story of the books in the library. I found a building that must be the library that you were talking about. I think we should go there together. Shall we go?
It would be my pleasure.
An undead? In our camp? Aren't you afraid it'll communicate with its masters?
It's a calculated risk. Your friend Edwin told me that she can interrogate those creatures, so we captured one.
You really can do some pretty weird things.
Listen, Vulcan. We're not going to turn down any information. If we can find out how to haul our asses out of the fire, I don't see how it can hurt. Ready to make it talk?
If our fire breather doesn't need me right away, I can start getting ready.
Excellent. Let's start the interrogation.
Listen, maggot head. You're going to tell us everything you know.
That's not quite how it works, Captain. It can't just answer questions like that. Tell me what you want to know, and I'll dig around in its memory to find the answers.
In that case, why not dig everything out, so we don't miss anything?
Even for someone as skilled as me, that could take weeks. Its brain, however limited, is like an immense archive that contains both recent memories and memories of its past life.
All right. I want to know if that bastard Black Frost really has left the area.
Let me concentrate. Yes. I see him raising the wave and turning the whole city into ice. This soldier must have been at his feet. Then he gave the order to attack and gave orders to several powerful undead. Apparently he left right after. He appears nowhere else in its memory.
What are those powerful dead you were talking about?
I see a flying creature, like the one in the swamp, and others. The image is blurred.
So is the army being commanded by a tormentor now?
No, I don't think so. They make good spies, but poor leaders. That said, I don't see any real generals.
Nothing that looks like that one that attacked the village.
No, but Black Frost will definitely have left someone in charge. Someone he trusts. This soldier just didn't see who.
What were Black Frost's orders?
You have to understand that this creature's ability to comprehend is limited. From what I can see, it was told to keep watch over the city. He asked to be sent living people. Prisoners. The other living people must still be alive and under guard. Other prisoners. And of course, that he be informed in the event of trouble.
Does he know we entered the city?
This dead thing doesn't anyway. But that doesn't mean a thing, unfortunately. I think that he... Oh no! He saw me!
Huh? Who are you talking about?
Well, well. Probing the spirits of the dead? You can well imagine that this sort of communication goes both ways. So, that's where my dear rebels are hiding, is it?
I must break the link! Right now!
The knight has come to ask help from his friend. While on reconnaissance, he spotted a convoy which he thinks should be stopped. A group of Deadwalkers transporting an object. He thinks they should be attacked and the object taken from them while there is still time. The broken road will only slow them a little. The knight and his friend must get there as quickly as possible.
Okay then, let's go for it. I have to go somewhere with Ranvil. Wait for me here.
Very well, but be careful, please.
You were right. It was worth it. Especially if we take the time to strip the others before we head back.
We can't take all of them. Let's concentrate on anything to do with necromancy, healing, and of course anything about the World Heart. You have. I can't carry any more. I need to keep my hands free in case we have to fight.
Sybil, can I talk to you?
Yes?
I'd like to ask...
What do you want to know?
What do you think of Mathras?
I think he's absolutely unique, fascinating. I have always loved history and history books, but he actually lived through history. It's just incredible. There is so much we can learn from him. His knowledge could allow us to better understand what happened in our past. We could learn from the eras of our ancestors.
Do you really think he's immortal?
Oh, I'm convinced of it. You only have to look at him. He's so cultured and has so much knowledge. Which reminds me...
Something to do with our decomposing friend?
Yes, he won't talk to me about his romantic experiences. I managed to get a lot of stories about battles and all sorts of historical anecdotes, but nothing about his love life. It's not that I want to pry into his intimate life, but I do wonder why he's so reticent to talk about it.
I could always ask him for you. Have you learned anything about the World Heart?
Yes, I found out a few things that might interest you. Some of the myths about the World Heart are based on real facts. Certain texts confirm that there is indeed a source of energy that fuels the world, but also that is the source of all magic power. Every time a sorcerer casts a spell, they are drawing power from the World Heart. The Ice Lords are siphoning this energy in huge quantities, and that is why they're so immensely powerful. If we can only discover how they're doing it, it may be possible to deprive them of all their power.
That sounds like a really good lead. Keep on digging. Anything new on the World Heart?
I think I just discovered something really interesting.
Tell me.
From what I've read, the World Heart is not in Vertiel. Well, not really. It exists in a sort of other world next to us, in a sort of limbo, in fact. And it's impossible to get there without using an extremely complex ritual.
And can you perform it?
No, but the Ice Lords have discovered a way to create passages and to keep them open. And it's by using these passages that the Ice Lords are able to channel the power from the World Heart. But they're draining it. They're using more power than can be replenished.
You have evolved, my dear. You have become quite sublime. We need to have a little word in private.
What do you want?
Quite simply an exchange of experiences from one superior entity to another.
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
You are using a human body as a host, just as I am, though the condition of mine is somewhat worse. What is your degree of control? Your feeling? What have you tried? Do you still feel the need to satisfy your human's desires?
It's more like coexistence. Vulcan is still most present. I have need of its human experience. Some aspects of this flesh existence are still strange to me. I understand not why we tarry here, giving help to this one or that one, when we know that we must go to the World Heart.
You see, humans, when you get down to it, are rather like ants. They have to scurry around all the time to feel alive, to give themselves a sense of purpose, and they live in groups, of course. If one combines these facts, one can see that they actually need to rush about here and there, helping one another. Despite the fact, of course, that those they are helping are about as important, from an overall perspective, as the ants that we spoke of initially.
I want to ask you a couple of questions. What happened to the Elven King?
I think he was simply lacking in strength of will and determination. They transformed him into an arch-lich. It's a particularly delicate and extremely dangerous magical process that could only be performed by an Ice Lord. It can only be performed on an elf, and then only one who is desperate to live.
How so?
Elves have many flaws, but most of them do have a very profound sense of duty. If an elf believes he is going to be tortured to make him reveal the secrets of his people, for example, he can literally will himself to die. It would seem that this king was desperate to continue living at any price, rather than dying with honor. That is what allowed them to turn him into an arch-lich.
I want to ask you a couple of questions. I'm gonna need your experience, Mathras. Come with me.
I confess I was beginning to yearn for your delightful company.
Mathras, got a moment?
My dear, I have all of...
I want to ask you... How are things with Sybil?
I am quite moved by the child. Her hunger for knowledge reminds me of myself in the distant past, when I was young and still living in my first body. Nonetheless, she is far less attractive than you, and the poor child is about as transparent as spring water.
Why won't you tell Sybil about your love lives?
I wouldn't have thought you'd be interested in the prurient questions of that young girl, innocent though she may be. It seems to me that my sexuality is my own business, as well as which, I suspect my stories would be quite shocking to an innocent girl like that.
Well, I'm not innocent, so start talking.
I have been alive on Vertiel a very long time, and before I lost all desire of any kind, I think I probably experienced almost everything. Though meeting you may have opened up new possibilities. To recount all my adventures to you in detail would require weeks, and I must confess that I would be a little shy of telling you all of my adventures. I would be afraid you might end up with a rather low opinion of me.
As bad as that?
Well then, since you seem to require convincing, let me tell you about my 14th wife, the Princess of the Elephant City. It may widen your perspective. It certainly did mine.
For real? There are no words for...
And those are some of my cleaner stories. I told you, I've tried everything. Perhaps now you understand my reticence about sharing with a young girl.
Yeah, I get it. So what should I tell her?
Whatever you wish. I will confirm whatever story you tell.
Talk to you later.
Vulcan, come here. I need to talk to you about something. While you were in the city, the Deadwalkers apparently began stirring. Several scouts have disappeared without a trace. They can't just have been ambushed by chance. Someone must have given their roots to our enemies. I'm afraid we have a traitor among us. Though if that's the case, I don't understand why we haven't been attacked by the Deadwalkers yet. What's really troubling is that these disappearances pretty much correspond to your arrival here, which means that your living dead friend is the prime suspect. Even if it's just as possible that it's one of the Red Scribes, or even one of your people.
And why can't it be one of your people?
Why would he do that? And above all, why would he wait until now to betray us?
Maybe he reacted to the prince's return. He may have expected you to lay down your weapons. And when he saw you were gaining hope again, he decided to speed things up.
Maybe. Regardless, we have to find the spy and silence him. You have demonstrated your effectiveness and discretion. Can you take care of this?
Of course. I'll look into it. Sybil, can I talk to you?
Yes?
I spoke with Mathras. He finally agreed to talk with me about his love life. Well, love lives.
And? What did he tell you?
Our bony friend likes... He's a complete romantic.
I could feel that behind his proud exterior, he was all heart.
He didn't go into too much detail. He had a lot of wives, and every time he had to watch them grow old and die. And he could do nothing to help.
It's just terrible.
It is. And that's why it's so hard for him to talk about it. You understand why now?
Yes. I feel so stupid. Thank you for your help anyway. I won't bother him about it anymore.
See you later. Since you arrived, the enemy seems to be aware of our every move.
Truly. Surprising that they haven't yet arrived here to destroy this camp. Most interesting. Or perhaps very stupid. In any event, I do feel sorry for you. One doesn't seem to be able to put one's trust in anyone these days.
You don't understand. What I want is...
But I understand perfectly, my dear girl. I'd merely hoped that you were above this kind of nonsense. Since my arrival here, I've been surrounded by your friends, something that rather precludes the possibility of me talking to the enemy. I have not once left the camp, and no one deigns to speak to me of strategy, which is a pity, given the evident levels of incompetence of your generals. Thus, it seems obvious that these suspicions are unfounded. You know, since arriving here, I have the odd feeling of standing in a turnip field.
A turnip field?
Yes. It must be all the superior intelligences that surround us. Trust me, child. You should leave this area as swiftly as you may.
You'd know more about the Deadwalkers than us. Who do you think the spy is?
Walking around in a dead body doesn't make one an expert on all other dead things, young woman. In fact, I find this suggestion vaguely insulting. But I have learned to trust my experience, something that you, despite your youth, should attempt to do also. I imagine we could quite easily reduce the possibilities. Firstly, the traitor must be able to enter and leave the camp without being stopped. Then, it must be someone who can observe your comings and goings without drawing attention to themselves. Lastly, it is someone who knows your plans. Someone who knows your military commander's orders. That alone excludes a large number, particularly the undead here. In your place, I should go and question the camp watchman. Logic suggests they will have seen something.
Thanks for the tips. I'll get right on it. Talk to you later.
Can I help you with something, mercenary?
Have you seen anyone leave the camp?
Apart from you, nobody.
Are you sure? It's important.
Certain. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to get back to guard duty.
Wonderful. Well, I've made progress.
Mercenary.
Has anyone gone by here? Any men leaving without passes, that sort of thing?
No, apart from you, no one. Is there a problem?
Your commander thinks that someone's sneaking out to get together with the enemy.
That's terrible. Who could do something like that? Anyway, I promise no one's been by here. You should go try the other gate, near the mercenary camp. And maybe the sentinels in the North Tower have seen something.
I'm leaving. I have some questions I'd like to ask you.
I'm listening.
Did you see any unusual creatures in the Deadwalker ranks?
I thought I saw a creature I never saw before. A kind of flying creature, really thin.
That must be a tormentor. Like the one in the cave. That's not good news. It could spot us at any time. Where was it?
Every time I saw it, it was somewhere high up. Pretty far from the camp, fortunately. It looked like it was crossing the mountains. I'm listening.
Have you noticed any unusual movement? People leaving the camp?
Apart from you, I also saw the human who goes around with you. The one with the strange way of speaking. And I think I saw one of the mercenaries from your company, too. A really big fellow with a beard.
Buffalo?
Maybe. He didn't give me his name. He didn't go very far. It seemed like he was looking for something.
Right. Well, I'll just have to go and ask him, I guess.
I'm listening.
Enemy troop movement?
Well, if you don't count that creature following you, nothing to report.
It's all right. This one's ugly, but he's a friend.
I'm listening.
Thank you for the information. See you later. Buffalo, I have to talk to you.
What do you want?
You were seen leaving the camp. What were you doing?
What business is that of yours? Are you spying on me?
I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm supposed to be searching for a spy, and I need some clues.
I was just out on a little recon. I don't see how that can help you.
They told me that you were looking for someone.
Yes, the soldier who was on watch just over there. He left his post, was trying to follow him, but he lost me. He knows the terrain better than I do. I followed his tracks for a while, but considering the number of Deadwalkers in the area, I decided to come back. I didn't want to give away our position.
Where did the tracks lead to?
Over toward the river, but don't bother. The guard already came back. He's just over there. You could go and ask him yourself.
I guess that's what I'll do. Thanks for the tip.
Can I help you with something, mercenary?
I was told you left your post.
That's... no, never. Who told you such a thing?
You think I'd tell you? Come on. Tell me everything, or you'll really be in the shit.
All right. I left, but only once. I was following your comrade, Buffalo. He went to the main gates of the city. I figured that was pretty suspicious. But I didn't dare go very far. I couldn't leave my post unguarded, you understand? And then the Deadwalkers didn't seem about to attack him. In the end, he went back without a scratch and without saying a thing.
That's funny. Buffalo says you're the traitor, and that the reason he left was to find you.
He's lying. He's the one. I've heard rumors about him. Some people say he's immortal. How else can you explain that he gets out of things every time?
You're talking bullshit. I've known him for years, and believe me, I've seen his blood get spilled more than once. He's got no reason to betray us.
Reasons? Since when have mercenaries needed any reason other than a good payoff? It's said the Deadwalkers found you in the middle of a swamp. You don't find that suspicious?
You lie with every breath you take. It's time for that to stop.
Anyway, we're all going to die, today or tomorrow. What difference does it make? But I'm going to come back to life. My master promised me.
Yeah, and you'll be one more dead grunt in his mob, stupid idiot.
I heard you caught the mole. I hope you don't think it's me anymore.
Vulcan, I hope you've got good news.
Your traitor won't be a problem anymore. The bad news is you're down another soldier.
I take it you're implying it was one of our own. Who?
The one on guard below our camp. Rest assured, he won't be telling anybody anything anymore. But he'll have to be replaced, I guess.
I'm sorry for the false accusations made against your comrades. Here, accept this gift as an apology.
I still haven't found your passageway beneath the city.
It's there, somewhere, and we have to find it. It's our only chance.
I'll be going now.
The Knight would like to discuss something that has been troubling him. He would like to understand what his friend hoped to accomplish using the body of the Elven King.
The body was overflowing with magic power. I took that power and it made me stronger.
Ah, taking the enemy's strength and using it against him. The Knight understands this strategy and approves of it.
I found the ingredients for your drink. I hope it was worth the effort.
The Knight thinks that his friend is in for a very pleasant surprise.
I have a few questions I need to ask. You mentioned the Order of the Ember Knights. What is it?
It is the order that the Knight belongs to. They are the surviving warriors and honored soldiers of other orders that were lost during this war.
Okay, so it's kind of the Order of the Orphan Knights?
This name does not sound well to his ears.
Right. So you haven't always been an Ember Knight?
No. He was first a defender of the Algander Islands. Then he was a Templar of the Order of Burgians, and then a Brother of the Rock, and then a Summer Track.
So, all of those orders have been lost? That must have been hard.
He has lost many valorous companions in battle, but his heart is heavy with scars.
I bet. What is the creed of the Ember Knights?
The Knight has long searched for the answer. Now he knows it. To seek a glorious death and carry as many enemies as possible away with him.
That's kind of depressing. Well, if you follow me, we should be able to get the chance for you to have your beautiful death. Maybe just don't commit suicide the first chance you get.
The Knight will wait for this moment.
You're not from around here. Where do you come from?
The Knight was born in the Algander Islands. It is a proud and savage place where the struggle against the wind and vicious neighbors makes a man strong. The Ice Lords attacked the islands more than 15 years ago, long before the rest of Vertiel knew that the world was now at war. The clans were always fighting, but they fought together as brothers when the islands were threatened. And as a defender of Algander, the knight had the honor to be one of the first to fight, and with his brothers for a long time he repulsed the invader. Some of the clan chiefs wanted to make peace with the Ice Lords, but the Ice Lords betrayed them, and the clans were decimated. Their numbers were sorely missed during the following battles, and in a few short months the war was almost lost. The knight was sent by the surviving clan chiefs to the mainland to find allies. But time is a cruel master. When he returned to his homeland, the islands were buried beneath the ice.
So, how did you end up in the village of Valvanor?
When he saw that all his kin were slain, the knight was hungry for revenge and sought out battles to bathe his pain in blood. But in every battle, he lost more of his brothers in arms and faced an enemy that only grew stronger. The orders were always hazardous, with betrayals common and errors never-ending. Faced with these eternal difficulties and death, always more death, the knight lost his hope, and so he left the field of battle. He decided instead to take care of the war's victims, to protect them, even though he knew it could only last a short time. It is a final mission without any other hope but to give comfort and relief to a few innocent souls.
What do you think of the Red Scribes?
Their studies have made them blind. Only knowledge interests them. They show contempt for all else. Today they have the ear of the last surviving warriors. They do not deserve this honor, and their words are hollow.
The elves took a hell of a beating, huh?
Defeat is commonplace when treachery lurks nearby. The Ice Lords used trickery and magic. The elves had no chance. This was a battle without honor.
That may be, but they beat us. And now we have only the scattered remains of what was probably the most powerful army anyone has seen in an age. Doesn't it seem a little hopeless?
This whole war is without hope. But since the knight and his companion are here, they might as well fight until the bitter end.
So what did you abandon when you entered into the Order of the Ember Knights?
The knight has already said he does not wish to speak of this.
This could be the last chance you get to talk about it.
It is true that tomorrows are becoming less likely. But the abandonment of the past means the forgetting of it. And it is often painful to dig through memories.
That's what you claim, but I can tell you're dying to talk about it.
Very well. Know then that the knight once had a family.
I suppose they must be dead. Sorry for your loss.
It was long ago. 15 years have passed since his wife and his 2 daughters were taken from him.
The Deadwalker army?
Yes. They were among the first victims when the Ice Lords attacked the Algander Islands. They were thought to be safe with the other women, far behind the front lines. But the Deadwalkers broke through our lines and stole away the innocents. The knight searched the enemy lines for days, but when he found them, he had to fight what the sorcerers had created from his wife and his children. A dread creature, multiple and monstrous. This was the most difficult fight of all his life.
Let's change the subject. I'll leave you. Edwin, I need to speak to you.
What can I do for you?
Hey, thanks for your help. Without you, we would have never gotten anything out of that dead stiff.
You know me, I just love to be helpful.
I would like to ask you a few questions. What's the story with this Mathras guy? Who is he?
It's hard to say. He's one of the living dead. Of that I'm completely certain. But he is able to do things no other species of revenant has ever done before. You must understand that necromancy, the magic that allows the dead to be reanimated, is based upon one principle: giving energy to lifeless bodies. Mathras functions differently somehow. It is not his body that has been brought back to life, but rather his mind, which has survived his body.
He says he's 6,000 years old. You believe that?
It is entirely possible. His spirit is in theory immortal. This magic is far different from that which is practiced in Vertiel. Instead of drawing energy from the world heart, he draws energy directly from the body he is possessing.
Could that have anything to do with the Ice Lords? Or my demon?
Absolutely not.
I'm going to need your talents. Come with me.
You offer me what? Sword play?